Breaking news from northern Lebanon. At least 15 people have been killed after two adjoining residential buildings collapsed in the city of Tripoli on Sunday, February 8, 2026. The tragedy has shocked the community and sparked new outrage over systemic neglect and deteriorating infrastructure. The collapse occurred in the Bab al-Tabane neighborhood, one of Tripoli's poorest areas, when two six-story residential buildings suddenly gave way in the afternoon. Rescue teams and local residents rushed to the scene to search for survivors amid the dust and wreckage. Authorities initially reported around 22 residents lived in the buildings. Civil defense officials confirmed 15 deaths and 8 injured, with survivors pulled from under the rubble in the hours after the collapse. Some witnesses reported chaotic scenes, including one injured person with a gunshot wound. Nearby buildings were evacuated as fears grew that other structures might also be unstable. The tragedy has reignited anger in Tripoli over poor building standards and decades of neglect. Residents have long complained about unsafe and aging housing, and this is not the first collapse in recent weeks. Local officials and citizens say lax enforcement of safety codes and outdated rent control laws have left many buildings in dangerously poor condition. Lebanese leaders have responded with pledges to investigate the collapse and support affected families. The Prime Minister called the disaster a humanitarian catastrophe resulting from years of accumulated neglect, and local politicians discussed plans for temporary shelter, housing allowances, and structural reinforcement programs. Charities and international organizations are also coordinating aid. Tripoli has seen multiple recent building collapses, and experts say many residential structures, built decades ago, now far exceed their safe lifespan. Illegal construction and lack of regular maintenance have worsened the crisis. Authorities say a national survey of at-risk buildings may be needed to prevent future tragedies. Beyond statistics and infrastructure debates are real families confronting loss. Relatives and neighbors shared grief and disbelief at what officials are calling one of the deadliest collapses in recent memory. Nearby residents fear for their own safety as winter continues, and many displaced families seek shelter and support. As Tripoli and Lebanon grapple with this latest tragedy, calls for stronger enforcement of building codes and infrastructure reform are growing louder. Officials vow accountability, but many say only systemic change can prevent more loss of life. We will continue to follow this developing story.